Hey Coach Sam here from Underdog Hoops. So in today's podcast, and if you guys are watching on YouTube, we are going to be going over the sixth and final day of psychology and basketball and how you guys can use this. Basically, day six will be taking action. What are you guys going to implement, or what you guys could implement? You guys don't have to implement all of them, and I'm not suggesting that you should, but we want to go over them and make sure. So if you guys haven't watched any of the previous ones, it might be good to go back. I'll leave a card right here in the top corner of the YouTube videos so you could go back and watch them. And then we will, you can go through that um, whole series of psychology and basketball. And then, so basically, what did we cover so far? So we covered sports psychology, adolescence development, motivation and confidence, mentally fear of failure and self-talk, and then time management and organization. So all these are very, very important when you're taking, have athletes, and you also have to understand they're developing still. So you know, we're they are just as much adolescents as we were when we were teenagers, or that stuff. So they are learning, they are growing. I have a few kids that are they were 5'10" when I saw them last, and we probably won't see each other until fall because of the shutdowns and stuff like that. But the when I do come back, and their dad is basically said that they are pretty much 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", something like that. They're gonna be pretty tall when they come back, so that'll be good. Kind of development in their growth. Um, and so motivation and confidence. So motivation, how can we better motivate our kids or our athletes to get the most out of them? Because we ultimately want to get the most out of them. We do want them to succeed and have the confidence to do other things as well. So what do we do? So we want to encourage them, be motivational. You know, we tell them good job when they do good job, and then we critique if they're not, and we fix it. We don't want to just motivate and then, or like just say something, and if it's bad, we don't want to just leave it to ourselves. We want to tell them, okay, if you work on this, you could get better at that. And that's basically what I've tried to do over the last few years is, you know, motivate them. So what I've done is during games, if they take a charge, I'll give them a free box of pizza because they take a charge. That's the simple fact. If they take a charge, they get a pizza. It's motivation to take a charge, and then they know already that they're going to get a pizza. So, I've had players take 10 charges and I've had to get them 10 pizzas. It happens. So, you know, there's other, so confidence, you want to have them trust you. You want to be able to trust them back. So, building that trust factor is huge in confidence. Um, so, mentally, or mental, being able to tough things out, to see a basically understanding of um, your capacity. So your mental and physical capacity. What are you capped at? So, if they are missing free throws like crazy, and then if you have a rule where you miss a free throw at the end of practice, you guys got to run lines, or you got to run a suicide. Most players will tap out at some point if this continues past more than a few times. So if it continues, like, let's say you miss 8 free throws, and you know these kids are gonna tap out if they don't think that they can do it. But ultimately, they won't get better if they don't push themselves and strive to get better. Um, you know, we want them to get better, and we don't want them to curl up and not take it seriously, because this is very serious. Um, and you need to be able to mentally and physically get through a practice, and it just prepares you for like a real game. So you want your practices to be more competitive than a game, and you also want your games to be really competitive. So you want to have competitive practices, um, and the fear of failure, which is a fear of if I miss a shot, coach is going to take me out. If I miss this, or if I get a turnover, so if I get a turnover, my coach is going to take me out. So it could be many different things. You probably want to have your players understand what your thought process is. Um, you know, a lot of coaches that I've talked to, they'll talk to them right when they come out of the game, and they'll just say, "Okay, like this is why you got taken out. It's nothing." So some coaches are like, "Okay, this is why you got taken out, just for rest." And the players have to understand the best players are the ones that take themselves out when they are fatigued or struggling. So I've had players come up to me and say, "Take me out, coach. I want this person in." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll do that. I will." That shows that trust building is something that you need to do, and that goes back up to confidence. They have confidence in you as a coach. We have confidence in them. So another thing is self-talk. So self-talk, you want to always be uh, hyped, or you want to just have a tone where, okay, you could do this, and you are capable of doing all this, but you need to tell yourself that. So whether it's making sure that you are understanding of self-talk. um, Basically what I've seen is, you know I've seen negative self-talk. I've seen like, "Oh, I'd coach take me out." Yeah, yeah, that's negative self-talk. And then they go on a rant on the end of the bench of why did I get taken out of the game. And I just gotta, you might be inside your head, but you might be saying, "Look, he took me out for a reason. Just refocus and move on." And that's one of the biggest things, is just refocus, take the time to recalibrate, and do what you got to do on the bench, get some water, and then re-energize and say, "Coach, I'm ready whenever you need me." So that's kind of what I've learned over the years. And then also time management. So time management is huge for coaches and our athletes. So time management, and organization. So if I say we have practice at 2:30, you got to be there at 2:30 and no later. Um, and then if they show up at 2:31, we are running lines or doing something, because we don't tolerate late people being late. It's just not in our forte. And I've never put up with it because I value my time like they should value theirs. So, you know, my time is important, and uh, and for me waiting for people to show up to practice. Now, I even suggest 15 minutes early. So, showing up 15 minutes early, get your shoes on, get your practice stuff, and shoot around. Or if there's another team practicing, you sit quietly and stretch on the other end. So, that's what I've told my players. Okay, if you guys are in here, and let's say the girls or another boys team is practicing, see, I will say, look, if it's the girls, you are quiet, and also if it's the boys, you guys are quiet. And we are they're quiet unless and if I hear otherwise before I get there or whatever, and I see it or it's not good, like we will not have a good practice. If Basically, I've said that we don't have th- this is not a good start to a practice. It's not a good start for, we have to run at the beginning. We're wasting time at the beginning of practice when we could be doing other stuff. Um, so that kind of thing. So, and some of the stuff is a reiteration of what I've talked about earlier in previous videos, but it's all relevant information, guys. So if you guys are, doing a have a team and you guys want to test some of this out, if you guys feel like I've missed something, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you. And sometimes, guys, I will kind of look over things, or I'll say, oh, like, okay, that's actually a good idea. Maybe I might do a YouTube video on it for you, and then we'll get back from there. So, um, how can we move on and implement this? So we can use the information to better understand our athletes. We can use positive reinforcement and motivation to, as opposed to negative punishment. And we can practice good time management and organization, and basically show our athletes how to do this. Um, we can learn the fears that they may have about basketball. We can also learn their trust, to trust our players. And then we can also understand mental and physical capacities of each of our players. Guys, this is all important stuff that we should be learning every single day, and understanding the basics of, what do our players need out of us? What do our players want to see? They are a lot of the kids that I work with are very motivated to succeed at basketball, but not a lot of them are skilled enough. Now that doesn't mean like they can't make it, because they can. If they just have to have a work ethic and understand that they are gonna push themselves. They have to push themselves if they want to get better, and if they don't, it's going to be very, very difficult. So that is it for this video. And you guys, if you haven't joined our band, please go ahead and do so. Um, the link is in the description below. The QR code isn't right here. I don't know why. I thought I put it in there. But it'll be in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Really appreciate it if you guys joined that. And then also, if you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you guys can be notified whenever I post a video. And we will see you guys in on Monday.